Chain podcast is proudly brought to you by Traction Unlimited, creator of the TUI Legacy Pulling Tire. Traction Unlimited is a premier truck and tractor pulling tire cutting business located in Neoga, Illinois, owned and operated by Lincoln Andrews. Give Traction Unlimited a call and let them take care of your pulling tire needs. Welcome to the Pulling Your Chain podcast, where we exclusively cover the sport of antique tractor pulling. I am Dylan Ayler, your host. Alongside me once again, Willie Hahn. Willie, how are you this evening?
Good. How you doing?
Busy. So
yes,
it's ramping up. Summer pulling is starting to come around. Trying to get tractors ready. It's going to kick off soon.
Yeah, we had test and tune this weekend yesterday, and Friday afternoon I still didn't have any tractors ready, but we took two up there Saturday. So
we got a customer's tractor we're trying to finish up. I got one tractor that still doesn't have an engine, and two that are kind of ready to go. So, yeah, like I said, June is going to be a busy month. So, upcoming pools, we'll start there. We don't have any recent pool reviews. Like I said, month of May, I didn't go anywhere. I don't know about yourself, but
I didn't either.
It was just kind of a transitional period, trying to get all my ducks in a row, trying to get parts bought, trying to get parts shipped to me. So
yes.
Okay, first one, June 6th. The Bulls and Pools starts at 3 p.m. Prairie Village, South Dakota. That's a big one out there.
Yes, it is.
3.5 mile an hour non-cut, 3.5 mile an hour top cut, 5 mile an hour, 8 mile an hour, and open. So I know that's a big one out there. Them boys put on a good show, and I always see great things from that pool. So. June 6th, Beckmeyer, Illinois. So, pretty local to me. Been there several times. Great place to pool. 9 a.m. start time. They also have 4 mile an hour top cut. They have a 45 to 65, 6 and 8 mile an hour, and 45 to 55, 12 mile an hour. Like I said, good pool. I think they run some of the Illinois hot farm out of the field tractors after that. So full day's worth of pulling. Some local stuff we got. June 6th and June 7th, there's Altenburg, Missouri / Egypt Mills, Missouri. I'm just going to cram them two together.
Yep.
11 a.m. start time for both of those. 4 mile an hour top cut, 6 mile an hour and 8 mile an hour for Altenburg. 4 mile an hour top cut, 5 mile an hour, 8 mile an hour, and open speed for Egypt Mills. Like I said, both good places to pull. Altenburg, Cody Shrimp normally builds a hell of a track up there. So anybody in the area, I know there's a lot of stuff going on that weekend. I said anybody in the area ought to come out. Shelby County Fair Showdown, Shelbyville, Kentucky. That was a tongue twister. June 8th. 6 p.m., 3750 to 6,000. They have 3 mile an hour, 5 and 7 mile an hour. So that's any questions on that one? Logan Yunt, I think, he was sending the flyer around. He should be able to answer any questions you got. Big one in Indiana. I know I'm going to butcher this. Tampico, Indiana, I think is how you say that. June 18th, 6 p.m. start time, 4750 and 5,000 top cut, and then they have a 4250, 8, 12, and 14. So anybody that wants to dabble off into DT country, that's your place to go. They'll all be there. Looks like Birmingham, Iowa, June 21st, 11 a.m. I don't know how close that is to you.
It's down south. It's 2.5, 3 hours.
Gotcha.
It's almost to Missouri. Yeah,
I gotcha. Looks like they're going to have 3250 to 6500 antique and 3250 to 6500 classic. I don't know the rule difference on those.
Antique classic is 4 mile an hour.
Gotcha.
It's kind of similar to what they run at Sigourney.
Gotcha.
Them type of rules. Yep.
Gotcha. And looks like lastly, Hillsboro, Ohio, June 27th, 9 a.m. start time, 3,500 to 7,000, 3.5 mile an hour, 3,500 to 7,000, 4 mile an hour, and then they have a 4,500 to 5,500, 8, 10, and 12. So,
Okay.
like I said,
I've got
lots of pulling kicking off.
Yeah, I've got a couple. We got June 6th over here at Antique Acres. They've got a stock class, which is low gear, top cut class, 4 mile an hour, 16.9 tire, I believe, and then open speed from 35 to, I don't know, we go really heavy. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good track.
absolutely it is.
And then I'm doing one on July 4th at the same place at Antique Acres. We do it I did it last year the first time as a trying to raise money for our local emergency services. They're trying to put up a new building. So on July 4th over there at Antique Acres.
Heck yeah. So yeah, summer pulling is in full effect. It
It is. We finally got our local schedule for the one sled that I pull all the time yesterday. And, we're gonna be busy.
ab-
We'll see.
yeah.
If fuel doesn't come down, I don't know
Well,
how much.
that's the thing right now. Like, I don't, man, you'd spend a fortune trying to hit half the pulls we normally go to.
Yeah, and if I could stay within an hour and not have to go 3 hours away,
For
might
sure.
have to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fuel's definitely going to have to come down before the winter time. So, well, I guess we will proceed with our guests of the night. So, our guests of the night. Thank you for coming. Chris Klein, NATPA president, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Allison Barber, NATPA secretary. Thanks for coming. For the people that don't know, NATPA, the National Antique Tractor Pulling Association, was formed on November '95, correct? I think I got that right. I hope so. But
Yes, I believe that's correct.
so, first topic, we'll just get right down to it. We'll hear it straight from the source. The Sigourney situation with checking everybody's RPMs and disqualifying people. There was a lot of pissed off people, and I figured what better way than to ask the people that were directly involved. So, whichever one of you would like to start.
We started the poll out at the drivers' meeting on Friday morning and announced to everybody that RPMs could be checked at any time. That if we felt we need to at any point, we would. We did warn some people. We did disqualify some people. And then the next day, it proceeded to happen again. And then during the poll, we had a post get put out on social media, kind of ran us in the ground. At that point, we got a little upset, and we made the decision at that point we were going to check the entire next class. And after about the first 15 tractors that came down the track were over on RPM, then we were even more upset. So then we proceeded to check the next two classes. And it wasn't just RPM. People were thrown out for hitches. There was multiple different reasons, but we have rules. They are not 5+ rules. They're not NATPA rules. We have our own set of rules at Sigourney, and we allow 30% in the Classic and the Open. And those rules really haven't changed for several years. So that was the situation that got brought up. There were a lot of upset people, but, kind of in our eyes, they weren't following the rules. So that was how the situation came about.
For sure. From what I think, I think what I've seen from most people that they were pissed about is they felt like, y'all waited till later in the day to start checking them, and they wanted to point the finger, basically. I wasn't there. Willie was, and we were just kind of talking. But, I mean, if you told everybody at driver's meeting that it could happen at any time, and then you announce that you're going to check the whole next class, I mean, that's on them, really. I said I wasn't there. Yeah. So
I personally did the drivers meeting, and it was announced, and it was said, "This is your warning.
see,
Get them in check."
to me, that's a them problem from that point.
Mhm.
Willie was there. I mean, I said the same thing each morning. Gave him, to let him know that this could happen anytime. The TAC was sitting there. It was there for anybody to check, to use. It was out. Let's do the right thing here.
For sure.
And that's how it all went down.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't there. I just seen, like you said, I seen the stuff that came across on Facebook, and seen that it was blowing up, and there was a lot of people talking about it. So I figured the best way to ask and handle it was to let y'all present it and tell your side. So we'll move on. You announced today new rule changes for 26-27, correct?
Yes.
So just some that I seen for Division 5 Plus. You're adding a 4750 and adding diesels to 5 Plus as well.
Yes, correct.
Yes, sir.
I seen there was a little bit of controversy about the diesels in 5 Plus. I don't understand it, but whatever. I don't think it's going to cause any more of a stink than diesels in the rest of the classes.
Yeah, we already allowed diesels in all the rest of the classes, so
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be that many more added in. So
I think what you all, and I seen that purpose-built tires are also allowed in 5 Plus. I think what you guys are doing, kind of modernizing your rules and kind of going with, I guess you call it the brush pulling part of it, letting everybody come pull 5 Plus, I think is a good thing. Seen that there was there no changes to Top Cut, or was it no changes to Division 3?
no changes to Top Cut.
Gotcha.
Several rules did change in Division 3, and most people are under the impression that just because Division 3 changed, Top Cut should also change,
Gotcha.
but that's not the case.
Gotcha.
The Top Cut class is still a board ran class, and the board, we take the input from the members and then decide what changes we want to implement.
Gotcha. So all in all, I thought from what I read earlier, the rules were good. Well, I don't know if you have anything to speak on it, but I think from a 5 Plus guy, I liked them.
Yeah, we talked about the purpose-built tires before, and it's gonna come to a point where that's all it's gonna be left. There's only gonna be old tires for so long. Yes, they're expensive. However, they last a lot longer. You can get a lot more cuts out of them before they're, wore out. So, you got to start with them somewhere. 5 Plus is a good place to start.
For sure. Either one of you that wants to bring this question on, can you do just a brief explanation of how your RPM chart works? I know you all have a more structured RPM chart versus like the 3,000 across the board rule. Like I said, you don't have to go super in depth, but if you could just explain, some examples, different year models, blah, 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 blah. That way people kind of...
With having so many different divisions and so many different tractors in our organization, it's hard to standardize RPMs from a Division 2 of a non-cut 13.6 tire that we let run 10%, and then we go to Division 3 and Top Cut that can run 20% over RPMs. And then, your Division 3 and 4 that can run 20% also. That's just where it's at. It's based on make and model of the tractor. Series. Each division has its own RPM rule. There's a chart posted for that. We are talking in amongst talks right now as a board to figure out which direction we want to go, how to modernize that chart a little bit, maybe simplify it some. And we're still up in the air kind of what is right or wrong, and I don't know if there is a right or wrong answer. We don't think that we can just do a 3,000 with having so many different classes, so many different structures of tractors and types of tractors there, that we're still going to have somewhat of a chart, But we're hoping to simplify that chart and kind of modernize it a little bit. But, that that's come, but there has been talks about it already.
Yeah, that'll lead into my next question. Like I was going to ask, if the RPM sensor, I don't know how your all's direction is on that, but if that comes prominent and we start using that across the board, I was going to ask, are y'all going to standardize your RPM, 3,000 RPM to 6 cylinders, 2,500 to 4 cylinders or whatever, and 1,800 to, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. I'm curious on y'all's
Yeah.
opinion of that.
Looking at, I've studied the RPM chart we got now, and standardizing different RPMs is hard. 4 cylinders, such a break in different RPMs of what you can run. That tractors that right now can run 26, 2,700 RPMs is a 4 cylinder. And we got some that can't run but 2,200 or 23. So it's hard to standardize that because the ones that already can run what they run for so many years, you can't take them down. And without
Hmm.
the proper safety equipment, it's hard to take them other ones that are running 500 less and bring them up to it.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if there is a. It's not going to be. I think we're not going to be able to standardize as much as I'd like to see, just because of the swing of different tractors, so many different breeds and makes and models in our organization that I think the standardization will be hard. But like I said, we're trying to simplify it anyway to make it better.
Yeah, I've sat down and looked at the chart because the same thing. I'm like, well, you can't take RPM away from somebody, and give 500-600 RPM to somebody else. It won't work. You're never gonna make everybody happy.
For
But
sure.
I know there's got to be a way where you can. Yeah, there's got to be something that can be done because it's really complicated.
Yeah,
Yes. No, we agree.
and for an example, like with the RPM table y'all have, there's no way you could have somebody sit there and look at each tractor and try to go down the RPM chart and watch the board to know when to disqualify them, when to not disqualify them. It'd be a mess.
We do have a RPM sticker that we do put on every tractor, and it says what their RPM is allowed for that division. So, I
Gotcha.
mean, that would be a little simpler. You could look at their sticker.
Yeah.
The sticker, we could tell them you have to put it in this location, and I mean, it could be checked there.
Right.
So you wouldn't have to have a paper chart in your hand at all times.
So while we're on this subject, we heard that there was some testing with the RPM sensor at the championship pool. Uh, what is NATPA's direction on that moving forward?
Uh, we're in talks yet. I'm not saying it's a bad or good thing, but it's still going to be have to be policed by a human. So there's going to be error, and then there's going to be controversy. So you take 13, 1,500 hooks for a weekend, whatever number we want to throw out there, and try to have one person, two people, three people police that board for every pull that goes down that track to make sure he didn't go over. That's a lot on the promoter, or on, as far as we've talked, if we would mandate this, it's on us. As a
Hmm.
board, we need to police that, not the promoter. They don't need to be policing the RPMs. That's a lot. I don't know, as 9 board members on our board, that we can still pull tractors and sit and monitor that all day long and still do that. So I don't know. We're kind of up in the air on what we're going to do and what stance, and we've had talks this week on it, and we'll have something coming out. We're just kind of checking, seeing what everybody else does, and kind of follow suit.
And that's, I know I noticed on one of the tractors down there, and I know my tractor does it. If I rip on it real quick, it'll blow past the rev limiter for a second or two and then bring itself back down. So, I mean, if you're watching that and it goes 300 past, you know, how do you police that? You know what I'm saying?
And
I
there's a lot of questions. Is the setup itself durable enough? What happens if there's a malfunction or an error? How do you
Hmm.
address all that? And our shows are pretty long as it is. What do you do in that situation?
you take the board, the box, and you run that many hooks through it all day long.
There's going to be error.
It messes up on one tractor. What do we say, or what do you do as a promoter or as an organization that, yeah, he was right or he was wrong? I mean, and then somebody, well, he was wrong and he just beat me by 1 inch, or something. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's still a lot of error, even though, I mean, it does check, it'll show your highest RPM at the end of the when you're done. It will flash your highest RPM. I agree with the spike. I talked to some people that's run it, and he said, one club allowed 50 or 100 for the spike. One club said, no, set your tractor 100 less. If your tractor spikes, this is what it is, and this is what it's going to be. I'm not sure what's right or wrong or on that part of it, but there's different clubs that use this and have different ways they look at it.
Yeah, I think it very possibly you could turn a 3,000 RPM class if you have a zero tolerance policy into a 2,800, 2,900 RPM class. Just because you have to set up for any kind of variance, in that rev limiter. Uh, I don't know how you police it. I know after this winter we'll probably know a lot more. So I just wanted to hear where your guys' direction, what you thought. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is for that.
Yeah, people just need to be decent. That's what the answer is. You need to. I mean, you're gonna have, everybody wants to push it a little bit, but it's the one or two tractors on a weekend that are clearly over. That's the problem, and it's gonna completely screw it for everybody else. Is what it's gonna do.
And that's kind of what's already happened.
It
Yep.
is. It's
And that's
exactly what's
what
happening.
happened at Sigourney.
So
Yeah.
So
do we move forward with the fact of, hey, we're gonna have your RPMs displayed, and if they're not within reason, if you're trying to abide by the rule, we're gonna say, you know what, you're making it a valid attempt. I mean, how else do you go about that? Because if you go zero tolerance, I think it's gonna. It's just like anything else. You're gonna have error. I mean, hell, how many pools have we been at that the speed board or the distance board has an issue? I mean, stuff's gonna happen. So
Yeah. Then what? You can't restart the whole class because something happened to the RPM board.
Yeah.
Because we're already too long.
yeah.
You know.
So yeah, I wanted to get your all's thoughts on that. We done talked about standardizing RPMs. Points breakdown. How does your point system work per pool? I know I've heard some questions, and there's some people that don't understand. Do they have to go to every pool? Do they, how do your points work to make it basically to the end to be in the running for points championship?
we set the amount of pulls that you need for points based off the schedule. We typically go half or one less than half. So if we have 12 pulls, it's probably going to be five. This year, I think we're probably looking at around 14 pulls. So we'll either six or seven, somewhere in there. That's how many pulls you have to attend to compete for points, to be a points champion. At the end of the season, you declare your two classes. They have to get with me right before championship, declare their two classes. That will be the two that they can compete in. If they don't declare, I take their two lightest ones. This year, since it's new that we just announced and we're going to allow non-members to pull on championship day, you had to pull at 3 pulls to be able to compete on championship day. That rule won't be there anymore. I won't be able to track how many pulls non-members go to because I don't keep track of non-members. The point system's based off first place is 15 points, second 14 on down to 5 points. A DQ is 5 points. So even if you DQ, you still get 5 points. And then your base, like this year, our max was 75 points. It depends on how many pulls you have for the year, how many points you're allowed. And then if you're more than that, they're throwaways. We take your top scores.
Gotcha.
Then if there's a tie at the end of the season, whoever places higher on the championship day becomes the tiebreaker.
Easy enough. Uh,
So I lost by 1 point to a tractor that didn't pull on championship day, which is kind of irritating. Just, yeah. I don't know. If you're going to pull, I realize he broke. But, yeah, that's just goofy to me.
Yeah. Uh, Payout. Let's go ahead and transition right into that. What does the promoter get? What does NATPA keep? That's. I know some people have asked, about payout, so I figured no better person to ask than you two. So,
The promoter sets their hook fee. NATPA takes $7 of every hook fee.
gotcha,
And then anything above and beyond that is to the promoter. They select their payback. Some of the facilities cost different, some of their expenses are different, so they set that. They set their payback. All NATPA takes is $7 off of every hook. Covers insurance, covers secretarial fees, covers what the expenses are.
Uh, I seen where you said earlier that you didn't have your new schedule finalized yet.
No,
So no summer pool at Sigourney.
no. We
Gotcha.
decided not to hold that this year.
Gotcha. Do you want to elaborate? Do you not want to elaborate?
I'll elaborate on it. I'm more or less the promoter of that poll. Chris
Gotcha.
kind of is a promoter. Justin's a promoter. Keokuk County Expo actually does put the poll on,
Gotcha.
but we do the majority of the work for them. Winter season's getting longer and longer. There's more polls and more polls. Summertime, it's busy for a lot of us, and honestly, several of us just kind of need a break this year. The membership, we did a straw poll. The membership wants to have a summer poll. But if there's not people putting their hands up in the air to put on the poll, then I we can't have it. In the Sigourney location, I mean, we didn't have anybody volunteering to have it this year, so we talked about it. We decided to do it, and at the Sigourney location, we've had it happen numerous years. It always rains there, so then we end up going inside. It's hot, the days are long, and we just kind of needed a break this year.
Understandable.
Completely.
So I know in past NATPA schedules, y'all did like the East schedule where there was a lot of pools out east, and then this one seems like it this year was more centrally located. Is that still a thing, or are you just kind of going with the full Midwest?
We've been rotating every year. Wherever we have the summer pool is where the championship will be. So this year, summer pool should have been in Sigourney. Championship will be in Missouri this year. Next year, I don't know where we'll have championship. I don't know what we'll do for the East next year. Summer pool should be in the East next year. We try to rotate it back and forth. And our whole reason behind that, you draw your membership from whatever region you're in. A lot of people can't go the whole season to all the polls. So if you see your numbers increase in membership in whatever region you're polling in. Last year, well, we had Russellville and Russellville. That's considered East for us.
Gotcha.
So
Uh,
it's kind of
and
the way we've ran that the last several years.
Wasion, no more, right?
No.
Uh, they decided that they were going to focus on their own summer pooling, is what I read, correct?
Yeah, they put on a big NTPA poll out there. And they're like a lot of clubs. The members are getting older. There's less and less of them. And they just have a hard time finding help to put the polls on. It was always a good poll to go to. It was a hard one because it was single track, one set of points. Members would rather go to a 2-day poll, two sets of points. Traveling's easier that way.
For sure.
But yeah, Wasion made that decision on their own. We're sad to see them go, but we understand.
Understandable. Willie, you got anything?
I think we covered everything I was going to talk about. So
Gotcha. So my final thoughts on NATPA and what you guys are doing. I think y'all are doing a good job. From a little kid to now, I think it is steadily growing. You guys have seemed to kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say side with the brush pullers, but you're drawing more of us, if that makes sense. Your rules are more more on the same path. Everything seems to kind of, you know, be the same. I think you all are heading in the right direction.
That's sure what we're trying, and I've seen the difference. I've been pulling with them for since '99. I started for points champions and pulled every year since 1999 for a points championship. So I've seen it from where it was to what we are now, and we've just grown leaps and bounds, and that's what we want to continue doing. You know, it shows with our numbers, and we were up almost 10% from the year before on numbers this year. You know, so we go to a lot of the big pools. You know, I mean, I travel to them also, not just ours, and see what they do and what the people who they're there and hear a lot of things. So I'm hoping we're trying. You know, we don't want to give on every rule there is and be that person, but we still want to be structured and organization that we're proud of. You know, so hopefully we're growing more people, and I hear more stuff all the time, and I appreciate that from everyone. You know, to come and try us and join us and have a great season with us.
For sure. I pulled my first NATPA at Northern Missouri, wherever that was.
Elmira.
Amara.
Palmyra. First time I'd ever been, you know, and I had heard for years, like, your tractor won't fit the NATPA rules. Don't even waste your time. You're not going to go, blah, blah, blah. Y'all welcomed me with open arms when I showed up. So I have to say, like I said, I had a good experience. I appreciate all that you guys are doing. Yeah, I think it's heading in the right direction. But that's all I got for this evening. Thank you all for coming on. I know we talked about some touchy subjects, but I feel like we needed to cover some of that stuff. It was a shorter episode, but like I said, summer pooling's getting ready to kick off, and I'm sure we'll have you guys back on at some point. So thank you for stopping by, and we appreciate it. All right. Well,
Yeah.
short and sweet, but
Yeah. That's good.
it like I said, summer pooling's getting ready to kick off. It's getting ready to be really busy, so yeah. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about as this RPM thing comes more and more
Yeah.
to the storefront. You know,
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is. There's no, like I said, you're not going to keep everybody happy, but there has to be something in there. I've looked at it and tried to figure it out, and it is going to be a pain in the ass. But
well, you know as well as I do, it's not going to be perfect science. Somebody's
No.
going to be pissed. Somebody's going to get screwed, and somebody's going to be a piece of shit for disqualifying them. So,
yep, exactly.
uh,
And nobody wants to disqualify anybody for anything.
No.
You know, it's not like that's what they're looking to do. But you can't, you can't let things get out of hand either, because something bad's gonna happen. That's what the whole thing is about. That's what it's all about. Is something's gonna happen, and it's gonna ruin it for everybody.
for sure. And like I said, I don't know what the answer is. I think the approach of only addressing the 3,000 RPM tractors is not it, but
No.
I mean, I can pound sand on that all day. I think if you're going to make this a rule, it needs to be a rule across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you do that without? Was my point of standardizing the RPMs, because unless you can look at that tractor and say, hey, that's 6-cylinder, it's 3,000 RPM. You know, that's a 2-cylinder, it's 1,800. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, this episode was short and sweet. Once again, we thank all y'all for tuning in. Every like, every subscription, everything, it helps the channel out. We couldn't do this without you guys, so make sure you keep tuning in, and we're going to keep bringing you some content. Like I said, the more and more, I'm going to find somebody that can answer me some questions on this ISOPRO. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna. Like I said, I'm sure we'll know more by the time winter gets here. But yeah, we'll adjourn till next time, and we'll have some more content. So,
Yeah.
thank you, Willie, and I'll see you next time.
Yep. See ya.